1. That's their favorite number or something because they always lose the first game or something, and then TSM just sweeps the rest. In the finals, it was CLG Black and TSM. CLG Black actually lost the first two games, so TSM swept the series. But everyone is actually impressed by CLG Black's performance because it was their first tournament play ever. Because here's the story behind CLG Black. It was created by CLG Prime, and they were handpicked by the players in there. And what this team does is actually they're the screaming partners for CLG Prime, where they can try out new strategies or new team compositions or something. So like they know how it can work out. But there's an announcement that said that if CLG Black um, will be competitively competing in more tournaments as long as both teams say that they're ready. So for the GSEASL final standings, CSM was first, CLG Black second, and CLG third. And the bad thing about GESL is that this was volunteer ran. So like all of the streams, all of everything, all the money was all through donations and volunteers and stuff like that. So unfortunately, there was a lot of downtime, a lot of server issues, mainly from Riot's part, because I guess this recent patch they had has been having these servers go down so much, and everyone's just really, really mad. But TSM's Reginald, their mid players, actually was really nice and was able to stream the last game of their finals for the rest of the LoL community to see. Even though it made him lag, he still kept it up because he knows that everyone wants to watch the last game. And so, congrats on that, TSM, and we appreciate your generosity for that last game.
All right.
Yep.
So I mean, now we're gonna move into. I mean, I think that's it for the major events going on, the big time events going on in the communities. So we'll go into the not lesser known, but I mean the current events going on right now. Um, so yeah, I mean we have IPL 5 qualifiers going on right now. Uh, so I mean for StarCraft 2 in general, NA, the NA qualifier, we had Sleep beating DeMuslim for the IPL 5 spot and BM 2-0. There were really no surprises across the bracket. I mean, most of the top players had already qualified or are planning on or going through open bracket or that kind of thing, or just competing in other spots, trying to do other tournaments. Snoop beating Mana 2-0 in Euro was a little surprising, but I mean, again, the same thing happens. Most of these qualifiers, a lot of the top players have already qualified or have been competing in other tournaments. In China, we have Zheng Shua taking out F91 4-1. China is one of the only brackets that goes to a 5-game series, I think, or a 7-game series for their finals. And then so Korea just ended up this weekend. That I think was probably the most surprising. We had Marine King and Puzzle meeting up in the first round of the round of 32. So that was really disappointing. I would really like to see more Puzzles. So Marine King took him out 2-0. It wasn't really a surprise, but it was tough to see that kind of matchup. Same thing with we had Joxi MMA, two really strong players also meeting up in the first round. Joxi winning that 2-1. Down to the surprises, we had Nestea losing 2-0 in the first round. We had Creator losing 2-1 or 2-0 being 2-0 in the first round as well. We had Hero losing in the first round. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, in the second round, we're looking at Joxi losing 2-0. We have Bien losing 2-0 or 2-1. We have Polt losing 2-0. I mean, so it was just a really crazy kind of first couple rounds. And I mean, I think it shows the depth of the Korean bracket as well. So I mean, Marine King ended up taking out the tournament, taking out San 2-0. So I mean, he does qualify his spot again, and hopefully will show us another good show in IPL 5 like he did in IPL 4. James, I know League of Legends is also in the qualifiers as well.
Yeah, they are. They're in the third round of qualifiers right now, but For League of Legends, it's a little different than how StarCraft 2 goes. Like, even if you lose the first couple of rounds of qualifiers, you still can get back in for the other rounds. Because I don't know how what they do, but it's really, really weird. You have to win like a couple games right now, but there's so many teams that I can't follow right now. But the big name teams are obviously going to be now PL5 right now. I think it's CLG NA will not be competing in this third round because um, they're focusing uh, their efforts on this Korean league right now, which I'll get into later. But other than that, they're in the third round qualifiers, and basically all the big name teams are have already qualified.
All right, sounds good. So I mean, it looks like there's going to be no hope of dark horse coming in the tournament then.
Uh, nope. We can see some upsets during the main event, but as for right now, I think all the good big name teams, the teams with the biggest fan base are in the qualifiers right now.
Sounds good.
They qualified already.
Sounds good. We also have the GSTL, the Global StarCraft Team League, 2002 or 2012 Season 2 going on as well. We're in the second round. So the last couple matches that have happened, we have Prime Fnatic, with Fnatic winning 5-1 or 5-4. I'm sorry about that. We had Moon actually taking out Marine King Prime, or taking out three players, including Marine King Prime, and then he's taken out by Creator, and Creator actually took out three big name players. He took out Moon, Buell, and Oz, and then Alive ended up taking out Creator and Byung to seal the match for Fnatic. But I mean, that was actually really, really cool to see players, just a team take a huge lead, taking a 3-0 lead, then making it back to 3-3, and then just Alive just shutting the door, I guess. So then we have Startail Quantic and New Star Oseo. Startail Quantic is still kind of struggling after losing IPL or losing the finals last season to Prime, which you couldn't see from IPL 4 if you want to check out the IPL 4 stream as well. They just never really recovered from having that victory just stolen from them due to the lag problem. But we had Sculpt actually coming out of nowhere, winning 3 games off the bat and beating Squirtle and Curious. Both really, really top players, both Code S level players. Then we had Ace finally taking out Sculpt, then Jockshi, finishing out the win, taking out Ace and Parting. So I mean, that's huge for Squirtle, Curious, and Parting to be knocked out without even a single kill. That's really, really rare for them. Then the matches that just happened this weekend, we had Slayers EG and MVP. We had Sniper taking out Slayers Crank and JYP and Maya, giving MVP a 3-1 lead. We had Kakoa taking out Sniper, and then we had Lure taking him out. Then we had Puzzle going 3-0, taking out Lore, SC, and Finale. And then we had we had Dongray Gu taking out his little teammate Puzzle, saying, "No, you're not shutting us out this time." And so yeah, so Puzzle probably regretting that he left MVP now. MVP winning 5-4 over Slayers EG. All right, and Team SCV Life versus FXO was another match that happened this weekend as well. FCV Life winning 5-3. Hyun taking out Leenock, actually, surprisingly, in the first game. We had Tyr taking out Hyun and Polt. We had Ragnarok taking out Tyr. Gumio taking out Ragnarok. And then Shine, again, coming out of nowhere, taking out Gumio, Choja, and Lucky. So, I mean, that was very, very surprising. Team SCV Life looks like they're coming back from the depths. Actually trying to show up this season. And, I mean, they've made a long road back to where they've been, and very, very surprising. So, other than that, we have a GSL Season 3, top tournament in the world. So we have, in Group A, we have Byun and Seed over Curious and Hero. In Group B, we have Nesty Naniwa ahead of Curious, or Creator, and the STC. In Group C, we have Keen and Squirtle ahead of Thorzane and Gumio. Group D, Genius and MVP over Happy and Susin. And Group E, we have Supernova and MC ahead of Gonzi and Sniper. Group F, we have Symbol and Marine King over Parting and Yu-Gi-Oh! We have in Group G, DRG and Violet ahead of Maru and Oz. And also this weekend we also had Group H, and we have Ryung and Tasia coming up over Ace and Lenok. Not too many surprises here. I would say the toughest group was probably Group G with Dongrigu, Violet, Maru, and Oz. I mean, DRG was a sure-in, but Violet, Oz, and Maru are all very, very solid players, and I actually picked Maru to make it through there, but Violet did shut the door. Other than that, I mean, no real surprises. I guess Gonzi, Parting, Lenok are three really, really surprising ones that you really can't see a Code S without them in it anymore. And then Hero, of course, after his great showing last season, just couldn't pull it out. But so we have the group stages starting next, or actually this weekend. And so we'll start with Group A, which is MVP, Tasia, Violet, and Seed. So we'll have more updates for you guys next week as we go into that and keep tracks on that for all you guys. And I guess we go into Pro League Season 2 for 2011-2012. For anyone that didn't follow Brood War, Pro League was always the top league for Brood War. Brood War was more of a team-focused game. You see a lot of StarCraft 2 stuff being where GSL is the top, while the team league is sort of secondary, and it was the other way around for StarCraft 1. So Pro League again was run by Kespa, and this season what they ended up doing was they ended up switching to a hybrid format, which is actually quite weird. It's where they will play a best of three for Brood War, then they'll play a best of 3 for StarCraft 2, and depending on if they each win 1-1, then they do a rubber match, with StarCraft 2 being the rubber match. You can't play twice in the same match, so you can't play for Brood War and StarCraft 2. You see a lot of teams saving their best players actually for StarCraft 2. So I mean, you're starting to see that transition, and I think by next season there's not going to be any more Brood War in Pro League. So I mean, it's sad for me to see, being a huge Brood War fan that I am. But I mean, it's a transition that I think has to happen for us to move on in esports and that kind of stuff. So I mean, for right now, we have, for the round 1 standings, we have Woonjung Stars ahead, Samsung Khan, CJ Entis, STX Seoul, and KT Rolster following that up, and then we have ST Teletom, Team 8, and Air Force Ace. If you guys have followed Brood War at all, again, you should be very, very familiar with those names. Again, if you haven't followed at all, those are all legendary teams for StarCraft 1. So I mean, it's so great to see them finally here with StarCraft 2. So we have round 2 starting. Round 2 just started actually, and the standings haven't changed at all. I mean, I guess Team 8 and SK Telecom have switched spots from 6th to 7th. But I mean, other than that, there's really not much movement. The top players, Flash, Bisu, Jaedong, are doing relatively well, although Flash did get completely destroyed the other night, mainly because he's again doing Brood War tactics while they're playing StarCraft 2, and the metagame is just not working like that, and it's just a matter of time before they learn. So other than that, that's all that's going on there. And we also have North American Star League again, which you can check all on the stream. Also on Twitch TV, still right there. We have the Open tournament is actually started on June 12th to the 17th. At Galaxy and Beast QT winning the playoff spots for the main bracket, and we had Puzzle, Hero, Puma, Huck, Alicia, MC, Stefano, and DeMuslim getting playoff spots from season pool play, and the other 8 spots are to be determined. Which they are determining right now, depending if you're watching the stream or not. Then you're knowing what's going on. So the main bracket is going to take place in Ontario, Canada. It was in Ontario, California last season, but now it's in Ontario, Canada. and it's going to be on July 14th to the 15th, and NAS